So, hello everyone, and today I am going to be making a video on my thoughts about, Scott retiring from FNAF. I've been putting off this video for a bit now, for a majority of reasons, but as the week continued to go and I kept seeing more videos of, people talking about Scott retiring and, giving him farewells. There's even some new hashtags now, like hashtag I stand by Scott and hashtag thank you Scott. So, there's a lot of stuff going on right now in the community. A lot of people are, shedding their tears and stuff and wishing their farewells to Scott. And I don't know, I guess I just didn't like just sitting by watching all this happen, because I myself am a big, I love FNAF just as much as anyone else in this community. And so, to not do anything and just kind of let this whole thing go by, we're talking about the man himself who started this entire franchise is now leaving it. That's kind of a big deal for this series. So I just kind of I didn't want to, just let it go by. I feel like I had to do something about it. So it was kind of just these conflicting points of, well, there's already been plenty of videos about, Scott leaving that people can watch, and they would probably, those have, way more views that I would ever get. But there's also the other side of, well, to just not, say bye to Scott or just talk about it on my channel would just be kind of weird. 'Cause, I love FNAF. I have my fair share of, FNAF merch, and, I've made quite a lot of videos on FNAF on my channel. So it's clear that I definitely love FNAF. So to just not really talk about it or at least say goodbye to Scott or anything, just be kind of, it just didn't set right with me. So I guess I'm making this video mainly because, I guess I just don't want to be left out, if that makes any sense. I don't want to just be that one person who says he's a big fan of FNAF, but whenever Scott leaves, I just, don't care. Because I do care. So, yeah. Just a quick recap. I'm sure plenty of you have already heard about this. But for those of you who haven't, which I'm sure there's still quite a few of you who probably don't know, Scott has been donating to politics that are not very good people, if that makes any sense. So I think the main one he was donating was negative LTBQ or positive LTBQ. I don't remember which one, but people were all upset about that because they were on the opposite side. I think Scott donated to the negative LTBQ, and everyone else that was fan of Scott's were on the positive LTBQ, something like that. So yeah, a lot of politic stuff. And I'm not saying that people shouldn't be upset about this, because it's not a big deal. I just don't know the next thing about this kind of stuff. But if you're upset about what Scott did, that's totally okay. I think it is kind of part of Scott's fault that this all happened, because, he definitely should have done more research about who these people are before he decided to start donating to them. So, yeah, he definitely should have figured out, who these people are, but he didn't, and so, yeah. So, I'm a bit upset for it too, because what I do know about what Scott did upsets me. So the fact that he's donating to people, like that. So I feel like it's okay to be upset at Scott for this. That all the money that he's been making of people, buying the games, the FNAF games, Scott getting all this money, only to donate to these people, these political parties. You can definitely be upset. However, then we get to the second part of this whole thing, and that is the community itself. Because, of course, not a whole lot of people were very happy with this. And while the majority of the FNAF fan base was kind of just at the very most upset, there were some extremes. Of course, there were there was two extremes. The one side didn't care about what Scott was doing, and what he was doing was totally okay, and that anyone who said that Scott was doing something wrong, they're just, very toxic and stuff. And then there's the other side that says that Scott's a horrible person for donating to these people, and all this other bad stuff. And, the two sides for the past week have been battling over each other, over this whole situation. And it's just sad, really, how a community that was once, whole can be quickly divided by just one action. And while I don't think either of these two sides really helped the situation, the side that said that Scott was a bad person for donating to these people these were the people who I think made Scott, confirm that he was going to retire, because these people, I can't get into the nitty-gritty details, but they were saying some really mean stuff to Scott. Like some horrible stuff. And it put a lot of stress on him and his entire family. And it was some of these people, the things they said were real messed up. And I think that's what finally made Scott decide that he was going to retire. He just couldn't take any more of this. And so, yeah. He then posted a tweet saying that he was about the whole situation and, his side on this all, and that he was going to be retiring. And that's what finally got people on YouTube to start talking about it. I think the first person to talk about it, I don't know, I can't remember his name, but I'll show a picture of his channel on screen. But he was the first one, I believe, to actually make a video about this. And then after that, of course, came Daco and his thoughts on it. And then after that, for the rest of the week until now, there's been just a stream of videos saying goodbye to Scott, That's kind of the story. So, for my thoughts, I've already said before that even though I don't quite understand, even though I don't quite know all the people that Scott donated to, so obviously I'm not as disappointed Scott as other people are, because a lot of these people who Scott donated to, I don't even know who they are. But the people who I do know he donated to are definitely not exactly the best people. They're definitely not people who Scott should be donating to. He definitely should have did a lot more research before doing it. And the fact that he's been doing it for 5 years. So, what game came out in 2016? I believe it was was that FNAF 4? No. I believe FNAF World and FNAF Sister Location came out in 2016. I don't know. It might have just been just FNAF World. But around that time, until now, apparently Scott's been donating to these people. And 5 years is a very long time. So, the fact that he's been donating for this long is surely he would have caught on by now about who these people are. Like, I would get that in the beginning, before these people, had any say in, our society, that obviously Scott wouldn't know what their true intentions are, but by this point, I feel like Scott should have figured out that these people are not very good people. And that he should not be donating to them. And yeah, that kind of upsets me. And I think that's kind of where a lot of people are at right now, where most of the FNAF community is kind of just in this middle section where, like, we're just all just kind of disappointed what Scott is. Some people still support Scott, even though they're disappointed at his actions. Other people are disappointed at Scott, and they're probably just done. And, nothing more, nothing less. They're just disappointed at Scott. But of course, like I said, there's the two extremes. One extreme being these people who just hate Scott, and the other side being people who don't really care about what Scott's doing because he's Scott, and clearly whatever Scott does is good. And obviously there's always going to be those extremes with any situation. There's always going to be someone who isn't happy about someone's actions. There's always going to be that one person, unfortunately. But it's still just like, I can't help but feel a bit mad at these people, because they're kind of the reason, they're part of the reason anyways, of why Scott left. It was already bad enough that Scott was donating to these people, and that, kind of, hurt his name. Like, oh, this guy's been donating to these people this whole time? But for these people to come in and say these horrible things to Scott, and, give all these threats to Scott, it definitely did not help the situation at all. And it's just, for anyone out there who thinks that Scott's a bad person for doing this, and that it's good that he's leaving, I just want to say this. Before you knew he was donating to Scott, what was he doing before that? Was he showing bad character? Because in my eyes, I don't think Scott's that bad of a person. Sure, he's been donating to these people who aren't necessarily good people, but I don't think that makes Scott himself a bad person. Again, I don't think he necessarily knew about all the stuff these people were doing. So, I think that definitely has a big part to play in it. And the fact that everyone just took it so harshly, and just kind of started assuming all these things about Scott just because of this. Like, what has he been doing for the past 5 years? The past 7 years, actually. He's been making all these games for us. He's been supporting this community. And even though he's been donating money to these people, he also donates money to other people. He donates to other FNAF streamers like Daco, MatPat, and those are like streams for donating money to charity. Like, Scott donates a lot of his money to charity as well. And, he's even made he's even made, like, games that are just for the FNAF community. Like, he made Freddy in Space 2, which was literally the sole purpose of the game existing was for MatPat, Daco, and Markiplier to play it and get money for playing the game, and that money would go to charity. Like, Scott made an entire game just to donate money to charity. You know? And then, just recently, whenever we found out that Security Breach, which is the next game to be released in the FNAF series, got delayed, he made this entire, like, Street Fighters game to say that, hey, I'm sorry that the game's delayed, so have this instead for now. Like, what game developer does that? Like, name one other game developer that whenever they have to tell their fans that a game is being delayed, that they make an entirely different game for the fans to play while they wait for the real game to be made. You know? And it's just, and there's all these things that Scott's been doing for this community. And, you know, and he's proved himself plenty of times that he's not a bad person. So for everyone to all of a sudden just turn against Scott because of this one thing that happened, it's not a small thing. It's obviously, again, like, I don't, like, again, dude, it's okay to be upset, Scott. But these people are just saying that, oh, Scott's just this bad person because he donated to these people. I'm not saying that what Scott did was fine. It definitely wasn't okay. But I don't think because of that makes him a bad person. And I think that's something that a lot of people are, a lot of people seem to not understand. But I hope maybe by you hearing me, you probably won't, I don't know. So I guess that's really it then. So those are my thoughts on this whole situation. I wish this could have ended a different way, but unfortunately, sometimes life just doesn't go that way, I guess. Not all things have a good ending. And I know what some of you may be wondering. Does this mean that FNAF is over? Because Scott's the one who made... He's the one who started all. He's the one who made FNAF. And he's the one that's been doing it up until this point. Like, what's going to happen now that Scott's gone? Is FNAF going to be gone as well? I don't think so. I think that even though Scott's going to be gone, I think someone's probably just going to come in and, become the new leader of the FNAF community. Probably Steelwool, because, they've been helping Scott with, they've been helping with, they help with make Help Wanted, FNAF AR, and I believe they're the ones who are making Security Breach as well. So they've been a huge help in these past couple of years. So they'll probably take over the series. And, there's still, and again, like I said, speaking of that, Security Breach is still on the horizon. There's still a FNAF movie being made. The Fazbear's Fright books, we still got, 3 more books to go until the series is over, plus a bonus book. So there's still a lot more to come. And even after all of that stuff is done, I think that's not going to be the end of it. There's probably still going to be some more new FNAF games. So I don't think FNAF's going anywhere. It's just that, for a lot of people, it's probably not going to be the same without Scott. Scott, if you're watching this, which, that would be crazy. Probably not, though. He's probably got better things to do. But, if there's just that one itty-bitty little chance that he's watching this video. That slim of a chance that he's watching this. I just want to give you a farewell. I totally support you leaving this community. I'm sorry that it had to end this way. I wish there could have been another way, you know. But I guess that's it. So, goodbye, Scott. Thank you so much for everything that you've done. As for me, I'm still gonna support this series. Even after all of this, I still don't think that the FNAF series is worth leaving behind. It's been such a big impact on me. Probably not as big of an impact as some other YouTubers, but it's still a decent chunk of my life. And to kind of just throw it all away after all this, I don't think I'm going to. So, I'm gonna keep supporting the series. And, you know, I guess I stand by Scott, so, with his decision to leave. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything else to say. I think I'm gonna be ending the video now, so, hope you enjoyed this video. Peace out.